As the worrying use of facial recognition grows around the world, one province in China appears to be using it to target particular groups. Here's what you need to know. The Chinese province of Henan has awarded a contract to build a surveillance system that targets journalists, international students, and migrant women, according to the BBC, which adds that it will categorize journalists as either red, yellow, or green based on the degree to which they are considered harmful. The system will incorporate cameras that can identify faces partially covered by masks or glasses and include information from cell phones, social media, and travel records. It will be operated by at least 2,000 officials and policemen who can search for people by uploading pictures or searching facial attributes, according to Reuters. Warnings will be set off if a journalist registers at a hotel, buys a ticket, or crosses the provincial border in Henan, and they will then be tailed and dealt with according to their category. The contract for this system was put out for tender on July 29th, days after foreign journalists were targeted by a nationalistic campaign for the reporting on floods in Henan, and Human Rights Watch told the BBC, "This is not a government that needs more power to track more people, especially those who might be trying to peacefully hold it accountable." A study this year by Comparitech found that 7 in 10 governments are using facial recognition technology on a large-scale basis. China was at the top of its ranking system.
Former startup 643 claims that Facebook used its apps for mass surveillance on users by assembling data from their text and photos, listening to their microphones, and using Bluetooth to pinpoint locations, sometimes without consent. Citing the lawsuit, The Guardian reports that Facebook could gather metadata from Android phone text messages. 643 claims the company could access nearly all photos on iPhones, as well as those not uploaded to Facebook. The lawsuit also alleges that Facebook also acquired some people's data without their consent. According to The Guardian, the company allegedly gathered information sent by users not on the platform to people with Facebook apps on their phone. Citing the lawsuit, the Huffington Post reports Facebook allegedly used information from Onavo, an app it owns, to observe what people use their phones for beyond Facebook.
The Pentagon is using high-altitude balloons to conduct surveillance tests in the Midwestern states of South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Missouri, and Illinois, according to documents from the Federal Communication Commission. The Guardian reports the surveillance balloons are carrying small satellite-like vehicles with synthetic aperture radars, sensors, and communications equipment. The surveillance balloons travel at altitudes of up to 65,000 feet and are used to track vehicles via the synthetic radars in all kinds of weather. The Guardian reports that the balloons use an advanced mesh networking technologies, which allows them to share data and communicate with one another.
Former startup 643 claims that Facebook used its apps for mass surveillance on users by assembling data from their text and photos, listening to their microphones, and using Bluetooth to pinpoint locations, sometimes without consent. Citing the lawsuit, The Guardian reports that Facebook could gather metadata from Android phone text messages. 643 claims the company could access nearly all photos on iPhones, as well as those not uploaded to Facebook. The lawsuit also alleges that Facebook also acquired some people's data without their consent. According to The Guardian, the company allegedly gathered information sent by users not on the platform to people with Facebook apps on their phone. Citing the lawsuit, the Huffington Post reports Facebook allegedly used information from Onavo, an app it owns, to observe what people use their phones for beyond Facebook.
Microsoft President Brad Smith told the BBC's Panorama program that the authoritarian hell depicted in George Orwell's novel 1984 could come to pass in 2024 if lawmakers didn't protect the public against AI. Smith was interviewed for a Panorama episode that explores China's increasing use of AI to monitor its citizens. Smith said, "If we don't enact the laws that will protect the public in the future, we are going to find the technology racing ahead, and it's going to be very difficult to catch up." Smith said Orwell's book was about a government that could see and hear everything that everyone did and said. The Panorama episode also looks at the complex competition between the West and China to create increasingly sophisticated AI for surveillance and control. China is currently the world leader in this, and 54% of the world's 770 million CCTV cameras are in China. The U.S. government's AI chief, Eric Schmidt, also spoke to Panorama, saying that Western democracies need to create strategies to beat China in the field of AI. 20 years ago, if someone suggested that their water heater was spying on them, you would have had to ask them if they needed some time off work. These days, they're probably right, especially if they've got one particular type of TV. Here's how that works. A Chinese analytics company has been collecting personal data from Skyworth brand smart TVs without users' consent, scanning their Wi-Fi every 10 minutes and uploading information according to protocol. The practice was revealed by a user who noticed their TV was being slow and analyzed back-end program code to find out why. What they found was a program by Beijing-based Gozen Data. According to the user, the program not only tracked activity on Skyworth smart TVs, it also tracked smart device activity near the TVs. A Skyworth spokesperson in Hong Kong told Apple Daily that it denied intruding on people's privacy, saying instead that it collected user data to facilitate personalized advertising. Protocol reports statements on Gozen's website that say its data collection service covers 149 million households, 140 million smart TVs, and 457 million people in China. Smart devices are increasingly prevalent in homes across China, and Protocol reports Weibo users shared concerns over security, noting how everything from stoves to kitchen hoods to water heaters is now linking up to the internet. Although the story arrives as the Chinese government has introduced new regulations protecting personal data and limiting its collection via mobile apps, according to the South China Morning Post, many will be familiar with China's existing privacy issues. China has 8 of the world's 10 most surveilled cities based on the number of cameras per 1,000 people, according to UK-based research firm Comparitech, cited by CNN.
For more news animations and explainers, hit the subscribe and bell button to join the TomoNews family. Thanks for watching.